If you've been wondering whether a new $2,500 Social Security payment is actually on the table, you're not alone. Millions of Americans are scanning headlines and scrolling through updates, trying to make sense of what's fact and what's fiction. And honestly, with so much noise out there, it's hard to know who to trust. That's why I'm here, to break it all down for you in plain English, with no fluff and absolutely no clickbait. Now, here's what we know. There's been a surge in discussions from lawmakers and policy experts about increasing direct payments, especially for seniors living on a fixed income. With inflation continuing to squeeze monthly budgets and prices for groceries, rent, and medication climbing faster than most cost of living adjustments, the pressure on Washington to act is stronger than ever. Recently, talks around a potential one-time direct payment, rumored to be as much as $2,500, have been gaining traction. But what's the source of this number? Is it backed by actual legislative action, or is it just another rumor making the rounds? More importantly, if it is real, when would the money arrive and who exactly would qualify? That's what I'm going to walk you through in this video: the facts, the sources, and the realistic timeline behind this so-called $2,500 Social Security payment. Whether you're on Social Security Retirement, SSDI, or SSI, this information could impact your financial planning for the months ahead. So stay with me. I've gathered the real updates, straight from the people writing the policies, not the rumors spreading on social media. Because when it comes to your benefits and your money, you deserve the truth, clear, simple, and up to date. So let's get right into what's really going on. Over the past few weeks, the idea of a new $2,500 direct payment for Social Security beneficiaries has been making waves online. Now, to be crystal clear, this number didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's tied to ongoing discussions in Washington about how to provide urgent relief to older Americans who are being hit hardest by the rising cost of living. We're talking about seniors who've worked hard their whole lives, paid into the system, and now find themselves trying to stretch every last dollar just to get by. Between housing, medical costs, food, and utilities, it's no secret that Social Security just doesn't go as far as it used to. The question is, where's this $2,500 number coming from, and how close is it to becoming reality? The answer takes us straight into the heart of several legislative proposals that have been floated in recent months. A few lawmakers have been pushing for a direct relief payment, not unlike a stimulus check that would specifically target Social Security recipients. These proposals argue that seniors on fixed incomes are in a unique crisis, one that isn't being solved fast enough by annual cost of living adjustments, or COLAs. While COLAs do help, the increases just aren't keeping up with real inflation, and certainly not with the sharp increases in Medicare premiums, prescription drug costs, and rent. Now, what's different about this current discussion is that it's not just one side of the political aisle raising concerns. We're actually seeing some bipartisan interest in reevaluating how much support seniors are getting. The $2,500 amount is being floated as a potential one-time payment. Think of it as an emergency inflation relief check. It wouldn't be added to your monthly Social Security, but it could arrive as a lump sum if approved. And while no bill has officially passed yet, insiders are reporting that the pressure is mounting. In fact, a few Senate aides have anonymously shared that a draft proposal including this exact figure has been circulating among committees focused on finance and senior affairs. That brings us to the next logical question: how real is this? Is it just political talk, or is there something more solid behind it? Based on everything I've seen, including official statements, committee agendas, and the tone of recent hearings, this isn't just smoke and mirrors. There's genuine momentum building, and that's not something we see every day when it comes to Social Security policy. There's a real sense that lawmakers understand the urgency here. They know that another year of inflation at these levels, without added relief, could be devastating for millions of seniors who don't have a financial safety net. Another sign that something real is brewing? The Treasury Department has already run internal simulations for distributing large-scale payments to individuals on Social Security. While those simulations are routine and not necessarily confirmation of anything, they do show that the infrastructure for sending out a payment like this already exists. In other words, if Congress gives the green light, the systems are in place to make it happen relatively quickly, possibly even within weeks of a bill being signed into law. Now, let's talk timeline, because that's what everyone really wants to know. If this $2,500 payment does get approved, when would people actually start seeing the money? Based on the normal legislative calendar and what we've seen with past relief efforts, the earliest realistic timeline would likely fall somewhere between mid-summer and early fall. That's assuming fast-track discussions pick up speed in the coming weeks. If things get delayed by budget negotiations or political wrangling, which, let's be honest, happens more often than not, then we could be looking at late fall or even winter. But here's the key point. Unlike long-term Social Security reform, which can take years to implement, a one-time relief check could be deployed relatively quickly if the funding is approved. Of course, not everyone would qualify automatically. If this payment goes through, the eligibility rules would likely mirror previous rounds of stimulus, meaning folks on Social Security retirement, SSDI, SSI, and maybe even survivor benefits would all be included. There may also be income thresholds, like we've seen before, which could exclude very high earners. But for the vast majority of seniors, those living on fixed incomes and managing month to month, the expectation is that they would qualify. And let me be clear about something else. This isn't a stimulus in the traditional sense. This is being framed as targeted economic relief for a very specific group, older Americans who are disproportionately affected by inflation and economic uncertainty. The lawmakers behind this effort are trying to avoid the backlash that came with previous stimulus rounds by keeping the focus narrow and the support direct. That means no fancy programs, no complicated application process, and no waiting in line. Just a straightforward deposit or check in the mail to those who need it most. Now, if you're wondering how all this ties into your regular Social Security payments, the answer is simple. It doesn't replace anything. Your monthly benefits would continue as usual. This proposed payment would be in addition to your current Social Security check, not instead of it. And that's an important distinction. No one's talking about reducing benefits. In fact, some lawmakers are saying that this could be a stepping stone toward a larger discussion about permanently increasing monthly benefits down the road. So this isn't just about one payment. It could be part of a bigger push to reshape how we treat seniors in this country. So what can you do in the meantime? Keep watching updates from trusted sources, not rumors on Facebook or random YouTube videos with no real citations. Look for news from actual lawmakers, official government websites, and reliable financial analysts. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve, make sure you're subscribed right here. I'll keep you posted with every twist and turn as this proposal develops, and I'll always tell you what's real, what's not, and what you can actually expect next. Because at the end of the day, you deserve more than vague headlines and empty promises. You deserve honest updates, practical information, and a clear understanding of what's happening with your benefits. That's what I'm here to provide, and I'll keep showing up every step of the way to make sure you're never left in the dark.